Hey everybody, HomeSliceHenry here, and in today's video, I'm going to be showcasing the team that got me a 19-game win streak near Legend rank in the Willpower Cup. Now this team features Cresselia. Cresselia feels extremely underrated in the Willpower Cup meta, as it's a very flexible pick, and on top of that, due to its massive bulk, it can handle Charmers very safely. For the team, I was running Pawniard on the lead, Air/Mandibuzz as the save switch, and Cresselia as the closer, and went on a 19-game win streak into the 3100s. So without further ado, let's hop into the matches and check out the team in action. Hopping into the first match, picking up a very nice lead, Pawniard into Mandibuzz. Opponent is staying in, so odds are they very well could be weak to Pawniard in the back. And if that's the case, I will want to try and preserve the Pawniard for later in the match. I fire off the Iron Head, they let that through, and they're going to send in Skuntank. No baiting here, I'm going straight for the Iron Head. This will do a lot of damage if it lands. Opponent is going to commit the shield. I'm going to farm up and then make a catch onto my Mandibuzz. Mandibuzz and Cresselia are both incredibly tanky Pokemon, meaning that they're very, very good choices if you're going to try and catch a move that was aimed at Pawniard. They're going to fire off another charge move, they go for the Flamethrower, and that just does absolutely nothing to Mandibuzz. Mandibuzz is going to be firing off the Aerial Ace. Aerial Ace is going to get the Skuntank low. Skuntank continues to farm, they reach a last second charge move. Tough decision to make, but honestly, I'm going to let this through. It's a crunch, it's not enough to KO, and in the back, they have an Ice Fang Drapion. That is incredibly cool. I'm going to bring in Cresselia. Opponent is going to bring in the Mandibuzz, and Mandibuzz does have a charge move loaded. Foul play, not going to be doing enough to KO, and I'm going to return fire with the Moonblast. Moonblast will do a ton of damage if it lands, which it does, and now I can bring in Pawniard, farm down, and I am in a dominating position to close out this game. I will commit the shield. They go for the Aqua Tail. Ice Fang does do quite a bit of damage, but the energy generation is quite slow. I'm going straight for the Iron Head. No baiting here. Opponent does commit the shield, but they just cannot keep up with the Fury Cutter spam. Iron Head gets them incredibly low. They're going for the farm down, but they are not able to do so. Pawniard gets to the Night Slash. Night Slash taking care of the Drapion, and that is a good game. Picking up a great lead in the next match, Pawniard into Latias. This Latias is running Charm, so they are able to hit for some heavy neutral damage in return, but the thing is, Pawniard is just too spammy. I fire off the Night Slash, I'm able to get the shield, and I'm firing off Night Slash number 2. If they want to preserve the Latias, they're going to have to give me both shields, and they do, and now I can send in the first of my tanks, which is Mandibuzz. Latias only has nukes, so I'm going to shield. They go for the Outrage. I'm going to farm up, watch for the switch. When they don't go for it, I'm going to fire off the Foul Play to get rid of the Latias. So we have shield advantage, and now they're going to send in Drapion. That is perfectly fine by me, because my Mandibuzz is going to be able to put in a lot of work here, and I still do have that Pawniard alive in the back, which can also handle Drapion quite nicely. So I'm going to fire off the Aerial Ace. Aerial Ace is able to land, and starting to do some significant damage onto that Drapion. At this point, I'm just going to let this go. Mandibuzz has done its job, and now I can send in Pawniard. Pawniard continuing to farm. They're going to fire off a charge move. I will commit the shield on the Pawniard here. Drapion staying in this matchup. They continue to farm, and I'm going to fire off the Night Slash before they're able to get to a move. I'm worried about a potential snipe, so I'm just going to switch no matter what it is, and it's a Sableye in the back. A Ghost Dark type going up against a Pure Psychic type might seem like a bad spot to be in, but again, this is where the flexibility of Cresselia is extremely powerful. I get to go for the Moonblast. Moonblast nearly KOs. They are not going to be able to farm down. They're forced to throw energy, and because of that, I am going to be able to take them out with the Night Slash loaded on my Pawniard, and we're going to be able to secure the win. You absolutely love to see it. Nightmare lead in the next match, Pawniard into Toxicroak. I'm going to need to immediately save switch out of here into the Mandibuzz. In comes the Mandibuzz. Opponent is going to respond with a Shadow Skuntank, but that is honestly not a strong response to Mandibuzz, as Mandibuzz can very easily win switch advantage or shield advantage here. I am able to grab an early shield from the Skuntank. Skuntank does have a lot of energy. I'm going to let this go. Opponent goes for a crunch bait, and that proves to be a massive mistake. I'm going to continue to farm, and I'm going to commit a shield here. I am perfectly fine with committing shields because I'm going to try and make a play for switch advantage. Firing off the Aerial Ace. Is the opponent willing to give up that final shield? Aerial Ace is able to land. Mandibuzz farms down, and just like that, I take switch advantage. But Mandibuzz is not done. Able to reach an Aerial Ace versus the Toxicroak and grab the final shield. And now Cresselia is here to absolutely destroy the Toxicroak. Toxicroak goes for the Sludge Bomb. That's not a problem whatsoever. Cress continues to farm. This is only a Mud Bomb, so I am perfectly fine here. I can confidently let that go. Not worried about it whatsoever. And the opponent concedes the match. Hopping into the next match, leading Pawniard into the mirror. I need to keep alignment here. They save switch into Toxicroak, and I have an incredible response available in Cresselia. Cresselia is incredibly comfortable in this matchup, as I can tank a Sludge Bomb and then massively overfarm before going for the Moonblast. This Moonblast will easily be fatal, and since I overfarmed, I will be able to reach a second Moonblast versus the Pawniard. Opponent sends back in the Pawniard, and I'm going for the Moonblast. This would do a ton of neutral damage, so my opponent is going to commit the shield and look to massively overfarm. And honestly, that is a bit scary, because a Pawniard with energy can put in a lot of work versus this team, and they get the boost as well. You hate to see it. I'm just going for the Night Slash right away. I need chip damage onto this Pawniard. They're gonna let that go, and I get a boost as well. You love to see it. I commit the shield. They go for the Night Slash, so now it is the battle of boosted pawns. I should survive a boosted Night Slash here. It is going to do a lot, though. I let that through. Opponent with a beautiful snipe as they bring in Medicham. Oh, man. This is not good. I have to rely on Mandibuzz to take out the Medicham and Pawniard. They go for the Ice Punch. Does hit for super effective damage, and I'm going to be firing off the Aerial Ace. Aerial Ace will hit for super effective damage as well, and I'm able to get the final shield. Honestly, that is big. They throw on alignment, and that is massive for me, as that gives me an entire free Air Slash. They were trying to go for CMP, but now, with an extra Air Slash, I may be able to win this. Aerial Ace takes out the Medicham, in comes the Pawniard, and I'm able to get to the foul play. This is resisted. Is it going to be enough to take out the Pawniard? Yes, it is! And the win streak continues. Tough lead in the next match, Pawniard into Claydol. Thankfully, I have two good responses in the back, so I will immediately save switch into the softer of my two counters, which is Cresselia. They're staying in, so I'm going straight for the Grass Knot. This Grass Knot will do some nice super effective damage if it lands, which it does. Claydol do typically run Shadow Ball, so I am going to respect it with a shield. They full send the Shadow Ball, and now they're going to respond with the Alolan Grimer. I do have an energy lead, but unfortunately, I'm down a shield. Moonblast, able to land. I continue to farm. Grimer is at the crunch. This crunch is going to hurt. I should be able to live it. Crunch lands. They get the defense drop. Cresselia able to hang on and get to the last second Moonblast. Moonblast takes out the Grimer, and Cresselia wins switch advantage. And that is massive, because now I get Mandibuzz lined up against that Claydol, and Mandibuzz absolutely crushes Claydol. Foul play, takes out the Claydol. In the back, it's Drapion, and this game is already over. They do have Aqua Tail, so they're able to hit for neutral here, but Aqua Tail is not the strongest move ever. I'm going to farm up, build up to the Iron Head, and then bait with the Night Slash. Night Slash does get the shield from the Drapion. I don't have to shield Aqua Tail number 2. My plan is I'm going to fire off the Iron Head on the CMP tie to that next Aqua Tail. So I'm going to fire off the Iron Head here, hoping they decide to let it through. Iron Head is able to land. They're not able to farm up any extra because they're stuck in a CMP tie. So I can bring in Mandibuzz, fully farm down, and secure the win. Hopping into the next match, leading into another Pawniard mirror. As I mentioned earlier, I do need to stay in these leads and play them out, because my backline is very weak to an opposing Pawniard. I build up to the Iron Head, and unfortunately, I lose CMP. They go for the Night Slash, I let that through, and I'm going to return fire with a Night Slash of my own. Neither move is going to be enough to KO, and I'm just going to go straight for a second Night Slash, and again, unfortunately, I do lose CMP. I do live this move, so I'm going to let it through, just the Night Slash, and I'm hoping that they do the same, because this is going to get them very low. They let it through, I bring in a Mandibuzz. Mandibuzz is able to get the Air Slash down. That's massive, and now I leave with almost full HP, and almost an Aerial Ace stored, and they have their own Mandibuzz in the back. Okay, honestly, very happy to see this here. so that way it's not on the Cresselia. I'm just going to continue to overfarm and then fire off Aerial Aces. So I overfarm by 1, going for an Aerial Ace. This Aerial Ace is going to land. The Mandibuzz Mirror definitely takes a while. They have a ton of energy here, and I'm not going to be shielding in this matchup. They go for another Aerial Ace, perfectly fine by me. This time, I decide to fire off my Aerial Ace right away, just to continue to apply pressure onto this Mandibuzz. The Mandibuzz is now low enough where even a Grass Knot would be enough to take it out, so I'm pretty happy about it. Aerial Ace is able to land, they're firing off another charge move, and I'm going to let this go. So Aerial Ace is going to take me out. I bring in Cresselia in the back. They have a Charm Wobbuffet, and I'm just going to start spamming out these Grass Knots as fast as I can. Grass Knot gets the shield. Honestly, fine by me. I continue to farm. These charms will add up over time, but as I mentioned at the beginning, Cress is extremely bulky, so I'm going to be able to withstand a ton of charms. They double shield Grass Knots, and I'm going to fire off Grass Knot number 3. Honestly, with Wobbuffet, I'm not 100% sure if it's better to go Grass Knot or Moonblast, so I start going Grass Knots, but I believe I end up throwing a couple Moonblasts just to try and hope for an attack drop. So I am going to fire off another Moonblast here. This Moonblast, not going to be enough to KO, of course, but it is going to get the Wobbuffet into the yellow. I do have to be careful of the timer. They bring in the Mandibuzz. I will be able to massively overfarm and switch in the Pawniard. Okay, I'm going to commit the shield, Fury Cutter down, and hopefully be able to get to a Night Slash versus the Wob. Opponent sends in the Wob, and I do have the Night Slash loaded. Night Slash plus Moonblast should hopefully be enough. The timer's coming up. I bring in Cresselia, and I'm going for the Moonblast. Moonblast gets them low. Wobbuffet able to hang on, and they reach a charge move. Oh my goodness, it's the return. It's a timeout. Who wins? We do. Picking up a very tough lead in the next match, Pawniard into Sneasler. Sneasler hits incredibly hard, and close combat would absolutely vaporize my Pawniard, so I am going to respect it with a shield. Opponent baits with the X-Scissor, and that is quite unfortunate. They baited, so I'm going to bait myself. Going for the Night Slash, hoping for the shield, and my opponent commits the shield as well. That's big. I continue to farm. They're at another charge move. I'm going to double shield against the Sneasler, and it's another X-Scissor. If I'm able to successfully bait twice, I can win the 2s here. So I'm going for another Night Slash. I'm able to get the shield. I will be able to outpace the Sneasler, but my opponent knows it, making a frame-perfect catch of the Iron Head onto the Mandibuzz. Very nicely done. I'm going to stay in here with the Pawniard, farm up a bunch of energy, go for a catch onto my own Mandibuzz, but my opponent reads me like a book, and they hold on to their energy. Very nicely done. I'm going to fire off the Aerial Ace. Aerial Ace is able to land, and I win CMP over my opponent's Mandibuzz, which is quite nice. They have a lot of energy, so they're going to start firing off Aerial Ace after Aerial Ace in this matchup. They continue to farm. They're going to fire off an Aerial Ace. They're very close to another move, so if I want to, I can choose to fire off my move right away, so this way, I don't have to take any extra damage. Aerial Ace is able to take them out, denying them of that energy. Do they bring back in the Sneasler? Honestly, I think it's unlikely. And we see their final Pokemon, which is an XL Vullaby. Man, that is incredibly cool. They're staying in and farming up a ton of energy, so I'm just going to fire off the Aerial Ace. Aerial Ace, able to land. I continue to farm. They switch in the Sneasler, and they snipe with the X-Scissor. Very nicely done. They have a ton of energy on the Vullaby. At this point, I think I need to bring in Pawniard and go for the Iron Head. I'm going to undercharge the Iron Head, and hopefully that should put it into farm down range for Cress. So I do a great Iron Head, gets them low. Cresselia, able to Psycho Cut down. Back in comes the Vullaby. Vullaby has a lot of energy, but Cress is very tanky. Foul play, lands, but it's not going to be enough to two-shot. They have to Brave Bird here. Vullaby going for the Brave Bird. Brave Bird not enough to KO. Cresselia standing strong, reaching the Moonblast, taking care of the Vullaby, and securing the win. And now, hopping into the final match, let's check out the game where unfortunately the win streak was broken. I do pick up a favorable lead, Pawniard into Mandibuzz. They're staying in, so I'm going to play it out how I typically do. Go for double Iron Head, tank the first move, and then catch the second onto my Mandibuzz. They farm up quite a bit of energy here. That's perfectly fine by me. I'm going to let the foul play through and then fire back with the Iron Head. This Iron Head is going to be getting them very low. So I fire off the Iron Head. It's able to land. I farm up, switch, and catch onto my Mandibuzz. You love to see it. That is just not going to be doing any damage whatsoever. They bring in a Shadow Drapion. Honestly, again, very happy to catch this here, because that way my crest steers clear of the Drapion. They fire off the Sludge Bomb. Shadow Sludge Bomb just does so much damage. I'm going to return fire with the Aerial Ace. Aerial Ace not going to be enough to KO, and my opponent knows it as they let it through. Here, I just overfarm because I didn't want to throw on alignment. They overfarm as well, and a Sludge Bomb is going to be enough to take me out. Decision time here. I bring in the Pawniard, and I'm going to commit the shield. And now I'm down a shield, but I have Pawniard and a full health crest, and it's a Rapidash in the back. So honestly, I think I'm in a pretty good spot here. I go for the Night Slash bait, I get the shield, try and catch a Body Slam, but my opponent holds onto their energy, and suddenly I'm realizing if they have Mega Horn, I'm in trouble, and they have Mega Horn. That deals so much damage. I'm going to fire off the Grass Knot before they're able to reach their Body Slam. Grass Knot is going to land. They know they can survive it. They're going to overfarm quite a bit and then fire off the Body Slam to take me out. Things honestly not looking great here. I'm going to bring in Pawniard and basically hope to try and farm down. So I will commit the shield. They go for the Body Slam. Opponent continues to farm. They switch into Mandibuzz and the Air Slash goes through, meaning they can shield this. The Air Slash will take out my Pawniard and the win streak comes to an end. All in all, I think this team is probably the strongest Willpower Cup team out there. Pawniard is an incredibly powerful core breaker. Mandibuzz is absurdly tanky and forms a very strong core with Pawniard and even can fight back against most of the Charmers. And then finally, Cresselia is incredibly underrated. Its ability to hit even the dark types for super effective damage with Moonblast and its ability to outbulk basically every single Charmer in the meta means that these three Pokemon together are incredibly powerful. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. If you're enjoying the content, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And a special thank you, as always, to our members here on YouTube. The support you guys provide is absolutely incredible. So thank you guys oh so very much. And until next time, I've been HomeSliceHenry.